Hello everybody and welcome back to the British Pokemon League show. It is season number 5. We are back once again. We've been doing this for a year and a half now. Can you believe that? A year and a half. Seeing this ugly mug. Yeah, you're blessed is all I said. Blessed. Anyway guys, we have got a lot to get through on today's show. We've got a lot of info to just beef at you here and there. And we're going to get right into it. And get right into the action. We're not going to make you wait any longer. You waited long enough. It feels like forever ago since we actually did a show. Playoffs seems so long ago as well. I'm going to refresh your memory a little bit if you remember rightly. We'll have a look at the league table before we get going though. As you can see, nobody's played any games. All on alphabetical order as of right now. But you may notice a few different names and different faces in there. And a few familiar ones. As always. So, as of course, last season, the Scuba Squirtles, California Bastiodons, and the Kyogre Canucks all getting promotion from the British Pokemon League Championship. Scuba Squirtles and the Kyogre Canucks gaining automatic promotion. And California Bastiodons making their way through the relegation playoff. Unfortunately, Ted and his Sky Strikers knocked out in both relegation playoff matches, so didn't make it up. Newcastle Thunderous and the Crymych Coalossals getting that second bite at the cherry to stick around. But you may be noticing two other new names. We've got Scary Squirrel, which is the Tendor Melmetals, renamed, of course, coached by our favourite Irishman, Kirky. And also Dimos Deoxys. Please tell me if I've butchered that, Lumaris, by the way. So you will see in the championship show on Wednesday, we've got a whole bunch of new teams. Unfortunately, Welsh Warriors, Matrix, decided to drop at the end of last season, which left us with a little bit of a hole in the Premier Division. So of the teams that we already had joined in the British Pokemon League, we played a little promotion tournament, and Lumaris and his Deoxys came out on top and got that final Premier Division spot. So congratulations to Lumaris on grabbing that, and excited to see what he can do this season. Let's take a look at this. Demos, there we go, Demos. Alright, I knew I had to be close. Right? It's all good, man. Let's take a look at the week 1 schedule then. So, as you know, last season, Space City PC finally took that crown away from the Inglorious Surfers and took home that first place spot. So, kicking off today's show, we have got the Space City PC meme trying to defend that British Pokemon League crown against the Crymych Coalossals, as we mentioned there, Dr. Dave and his Coalossals, reclaiming that Premier Division spot through the relegation playoffs, losing out the first time round, but then getting the win in the second chance, the last chance saloon over Ted and his Sky Strikers. In the second match, we have got the new boys, Demos Deoxys. I nearly said the old one there. Demos Deoxys against Aaron and his Inglorious Evs. Aaron will be looking to try and bounce back this season and get himself back to winning ways, reclaim that crown and bring back that trophy back over the pond. Up next, we have got the Bully Boys against the California Bastiodons. Bully Boys been here since Season 1. Oma took relegation in Season 3, but managed to get promoted again last season, so finds himself back in the Premier Division. So, very much glad to have Oma back. Very, very good lad, and always fun to play against him. Then we've got a little bit of a battle of the ages. We've got Lat and his Miami Heat against the South Croydon Swords. These two have had some many interesting and enticing battles over the last few seasons, and I'm sure this one won't fail to disappoint. Then next up, we have got the first and second place team from the British Pokemon League Championship last season, Kyogre Canucks, taking on the Scuba Squirtles. So both of them guys be looking to try and start the Premier Division life off with a win. And finally, leading out this week's matches, we've got Newcastle Thunderous against Kirky and his Scary Squirrel. So Kirky, of course, getting top 8 last season. Did really well towards the end of the season, managed to get himself in playoffs, so we're looking to try and build upon that this season. And Dave, won his relegation playoff match against Ted, which knocked Ted down to that last chance saloon match. So Dave lives to fight another day after finishing in that bottom 4. We'll be looking to try and avoid that. But we're going to just zip back to the league table just to explain for anyone who is new here. So in the British Pokemon League Premier Division, the top 8 teams make it into playoffs. And of course, we play through playoffs and we get a grand finals. We find out who our winner is. The 11th and 12th place teams in the British Pokemon League Premier Division are automatically relegated to the Championship Division, and the 9th and 10th place teams go on to the relegation playoff, where they will place. This season, they will play the two winners of the relegation playoff round 1 matches. in their own relegation playoff. So 9th and 10th place is not entirely doomed, although as you will see on Wednesday, and you'll have seen in our championship preview video, go check that out on our YouTube, championship division is looking incredibly stacked this season. So while it is a second chance, you're really up against it, playing one of the top 6 in the championship. So definitely very, very, very scary prospect. But let's get on to our first match of this season then. As you said, it is the Space City PC taking on Crymych Coalossals. So last season, of course, Dr. Dave had a little bit of a, we'll call it a gimmick team. It was very much weather-based. There was, partly ice types in there. Was partly, rock types with sand. We had hail going on, and then there was just Mega Kangaskhan thrown in the mix. And then the second half of the season, we got a little bit of Bibarel action as well, just to spice things up a little bit. And unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for Dr. Dave the way he wanted it to. But as you said, he's still here. Managed to scrape through in the relegation playoff, last chance saloon, and has definitely picked a more. It's definitely a stronger team. I think there's definitely scope for Dr. Dave to do Dr. Dave things. You've got Comfy and Muldrus Galar pair really, really well with each other. Got a lot of synergy going on there. You've got Comfy using his charge ability, can't use Draining Kiss, proc that Muldrus Galar's weakness policy, and Big Bad Gobur. We've also got a lot of potential for Trick Room and Trick Room shenanigans with Gothitelle and Oranguru. Oranguru with that Instruct move can cause a lot of shenanigans at Gothitelle as well. With its ability, of course, is going to cause your opponent to be stuck and unable to switch out. It's always a good one to have. And that thing is bulky as all hell in this format as well, so definitely one to watch out for. 2 really, really good mega options there as well, in Ampharos and Beedrill. Beedrill, has a lot of weaknesses, but that adaptability ability when it megas is really, really strong. And Gliscor as well, as we saw in the hands of Space City PC. So Gliscor, Meme will be hoping doesn't come back to haunt him on that Crymych Coalossals team. Obviously with that flying ground type. Very, very strong Pokemon right there. I guess Sword Stance up with that Poison Heal ability can keep that thing running for a while. And Ice Cube is in the team. We've not seen this thing since season number 1, so good to see Ice Cube back. And of course, leading up the line is Sawsbuck. Bit of a memey pick there, I would think, but I think rounds out the team pretty well. But over on that Space City PC team, well, what a team this our champ has put together. Rillaboom and Arcanine going to pair really, really well together. Rillaboom with that grassy terrain, grassy sedge, should I say. Going to get the grassy terrain up, so you're going to get healing each turn, and also going to activate that grassy glide. Arcanine, of course, has that Intim ability, and is surprisingly bulky. It is big fire dog, but it is very bulky, and of course also has Justified and Flash Fire as abilities as well, which can make things very interesting. Got Clefable there, so you've got some Follow Me, keep the likes of the Rillaboom, Gallade, Drapion alive. We saw just how destructive that Drapion can be in the right pair of hands. I do not blame Meme for picking it one bit. So some good potential there. Inteleon as well, super, super fast, decently good special attack. Of course, has that Snipe Shot, which is a high chance of critical hits as well, which is what you want. And of course, Gallade as well, a very good mega option on that Space EPC team. Gets that 165 base attack, which is very, very scary prospect. You get that thing with the Sword Stance up next to that Clefable, and problems are going to be had for the other team. We will say that much. But I'm going to stop my rambling, guys. Let's get into the first match of Season 5 of the British Pokemon League Premier Division. Space City PC taking on the Crymych Coalossals. So Meme has got the Rillaboom, Arcanine, Clefable, Gallade, Inteleon, Drapion as his lineup. And Dr. Dave has got the Oranguru, Gothitelle, Ampharos, Gliscor, Galar Moltres, and the Sawsbuck. Dr. Dave kicking things off with the Oranguru and Gothitelle, and the Gallade and Drapion for Meme. So you want to say that there's maybe a Trick Room coming here, knowing how fast Mega Gallade is, and Drapion, of course, not the slowest thing. But, of course, Gallade does also get Trick Room, so could see a Trick Room there. Fake Out comes out from that Gothitelle. Imprisoned coming out from the Gallade, so that's probably trying to put a stop to Trick Room, but the Oranguru going for the Yawn instead, just trying to get things to sleep and make that Drapion a little bit less of a problem to deal with. So Meme now forced to either try and stick it out, or well, he can't actually switch it out. I was going to say try and switch it out. That's not going to happen while Gothitelle's still on the field, so he's got to take care of that thing as soon as possible. And knowing Dr. Dave, I would imagine he's put full bulk on that thing. But knowing Imprison is there on that Gallade, I would imagine Trick Room is there as well. There's the knock off, so it's going to knock off that mental herb, so it's a good information there for me. And out comes the rest. Maybe expecting a hit into that Gothitelle, but doesn't come, so the rest a bit wasted. But the Drapion now going to take a nap, and Oranguru just about hanging on 12% HP. And Gallade now potentially about to take a nap as well. So things about to get a bit scary. There's the Ice Punch going to take care of Oranguru, so Meme gets the first blood, and out comes the Cosmic Power from Gothitelle. So this is getting scary. That Gothitelle's getting bulkier and bulkier, because Drapion does have that sniper ability, so you know, one good dark type critical hit may put an end to that Gothitelle. And in comes the Galar Moltres, so both mons asleep. So Dr. Dave potentially, unless there's a 1-10 wake up, could just go straight out for the nasty plot or try and go for damage on the Gallade. But maybe doesn't want to give Meme the free switch in here. Does indeed go for the nasty block, gets our special attack buff and the Cosmic Power buff to the Gothitelle as well. So that Gothitelle is getting bulkier and bulkier and harder to deal with. Meanwhile, the Drapion and Gallade not waking up, but Gallade does indeed wake up this in, and out comes the Ice Punch, just going to activate Berserk on the Moltres. And Drapion also waking up, gets a knockoff. Does knock off the room service, so good item just there, but Dr. Dave going for the nasty plot, which could end up working against him. I think really should have just went on the attack there instead, maybe going for like an air slash or something, try and get rid of, you know, 1 or 2 of the mons there, just maybe a little bit greedy on Dr. Dave's side. But Gothitelle's got 2.5 defense and special defense. you were just not hitting this this sexy mistress. Protected coming out from the Galmatra, sees the Ice Punch coming, tries to preserve it, gets the knockoff, and the oh my god, the Stored Power activates the weakness policy. Stored Power comes out, and down goes the Mega Gallade. Gothitelle with the weakness policy. Absolute scenes here in the British Pokemon League, boys and girls. Great tech there from Dr. Dave and his Crymych Coalossals, and that ties us up one of pieces. In comes the Inteleon. That Galar Moltres on pretty low HP though, and has just banned a Protect. So do we see Dr. Dave maybe try and switch it out, try and preserve it, or go on the attack? Because Inteleon is 100% going to be much faster than it in this time. There is a Snipe Shot. Down goes the Galar Moltres. Night Slash. Yes, 18% damage. Stored Power is going to take Inteleon down to its sash. So good item choice there. And Meme keeps that thing hanging around. And now it is all up to Ampharos and Gothitelle. Because Gothitelle, if it does only have Stored Power, which you would think it's going to, is not going to be able to hit that Drapion. So Ampharos does go for its Mega. This Ice Beam comes out, does a big chunk of damage. No critical hit, but there's the Night Slash. And the rest comes out from the Gothitelle. So he needs to get rid of the Drapion. No, Drapion doesn't go down. And Ampharos just much slower than them too. And I think Inteleon going to be able to comfortably take out the Ampharos here, which is going to leave Gothitelle in a bit of a spot and going to give Meme that 1-0 lead in the best of 3. There it is. Ampharos goes down. Inteleon, there is a Night Slash. No critical hits, but how little that did to Gothitelle. Could be here a little while, guys, trying to get rid of this thing. Snipe Shot, just trying to go for the critical hit. And there it is. Gets the critical hit on the Gothitelle. Meme gets the 1-0 lead. He was going to get it eventually with the Snipe Shot on the Inteleon and with the Night Slash and Sniper on the Drapion. It was always coming at some point. We move on to game 2. Just a little bit of a screen freeze there, guys. Just give it a little second to reset. Shouldn't be too much longer. There we go. We jump straight in. Sorry about that, guys. And into game 2 we go. So Meme switching things up, keeps the Drapion though, and out comes the Rillaboom, so gives him that fake out potential. And Dr. Dave with that Swordsbook, maybe predicting the Rillaboom coming, is going to have that Sap Sipper ability in Oranguru. You'd think is going to go for those Yawns again, but could freely go for a Trick Room here. There is potential for it. There is the fake out into Swordsbook, so no Grassy Glide, doesn't get baited into that cross. Poison is going to get rid of the Swordsbook though, and there is the Trick Room on Oranguru. So Dr. Dave going to be trying to get that speed control. And out comes the Gothitelle again. Oh boy. Nam flashbacks be happening on the field right now for Meme and his Space City PC. Of course, he did deal with it pretty handedly last time, so we won't be worrying too much. You know, Dr. Dave really got to get rid of that Drapion before he does anything with it, where that Gothitelle is concerned. Out comes the Yawns. He's trying to get that thing asleep, and Cosmic Power going up. U-turn onto the Oranguru is going to let him switch out, so that it bypasses the ability and switches into the Clefable. There's the Night Slash on the Oranguru. Oranguru just about hanging on. Clefable switching in then, so is Clefable going to be running that taunt, or are we just going to see some follow me's coming out? I said not that a stalled power is really going to affect Drapion too much. There's the brutal swing. So it's going to activate his own weakness policy and do a tiny little bit of chip damage, but gets the weakness policy off. Stalled power is going to get blocked by that protect on Clefable, and Night Slash going to get rid of Harangaroo. So it's a 2v4 right now. That grassy terrain healing up the Mons a little bit there as well. And in comes the Galar Moltres with that room service, as we found out had last game. That Gothitelle looking very, very scary, but again, he's got to get rid of the Drapion. Ally Switch comes out. There's a nasty plot onto the Galar Moltres. That's a great read there for me. Gets the Ally Switch off. Starred power going to hit into that Drapion, which of course is immune and lives to fight another turn. And more importantly, stalls out a turn of that Trick Room as well. So out comes a Protector from Clefable. Knows he can go for it again. Goes out the Fiery Wrath on Galar Moltres. Not quite enough. Dr. Dave going for the another Cosmic Power. Unbelievable. And still 4 Mons up and alive for Meme. Very difficult position for Dr. Dave to be in. He's got to get rid of that Drapion. Drapion does wake up though. There's the Rock Slides that misses Gothitelle, but that's going to do some good damage away to Galar Moltres. And the Moonblast that's going to activate Berserk. Not quite enough damage. Starred power. Oh, Clefable just about hangs on. As does Drapion. Clefable does go down to the Fiery Wrath though, but now in comes the Inteleon, and again that Galar Moltres finds itself on low HP, facing down Secret Agent Man. And I think even if you protect here, Meme can potentially just double down on the Gothitelle. He does go for the attack, but there's the Night Slash. No critical hits here. Goes to the Starred Power. That's going to take the Inteleon down to its sash. And that Moltres being just too slow, I think it's going to allow something to go down to get the critical hit on the sniper shot. The crit mattered. There's the Night Slash onto the Gothitelle. It's just a matter of time now. Gothitelle is going to take another kill in Inteleon though, so it makes it 1v2. But now Rillaboom going to be able to go for a fake out here and allow Drapion to hopefully get the job done. No critical hits yet, but getting some good damage off all the same. No attacks this turn from Gothitelle either, thanks to that fake out. There is the Night Slash. That gets the job done, gets the critical hit, and Meme takes his first game of Season 5 with aplomb and takes the 2-0 win over Dr. Dave. GG's to both boys there. What was that tech on the Gothitelle? What was that? Like, we're all in the year 2000. Dr. Dave is like year 3022, just on another level. A bit of a shame it didn't work for him, but it's always cool to see spicy tech like that. And yeah, it was it was relatively close in the end. The Drapion goes down, and I think that's maybe a different battle. But Meme showing why he's the Season 4 champion and takes the 2-0 win to kick off Season number 5. But then let's get on to our next game then. It is Aaron and his Inglorious Service against Deimos Deoxys, our new boys in Lumaris, and 2 very, very, very spicy teams. One thing you will notice is this is very much not an Aaron T. Marshall Draft League team. There's a distinct lack of Ren, and I feel very offended by that, Mr. T. Marshall. That's all I'm going to say. But not to be stopped from having his weather. Does indeed have weather on the team in Vulpix. It's got the drought ability on there, which is going to synergize really, really well with a lot of mons on that team. It's going to activate Soul Power on that Houndoom if it goes for that Mega. Can also work on Cherim to activate Flower Gift as well, which is also going to give a buff to its allies. And of course, it's going to activate Chlorophyll on Lilligant Hisui. So Lilligant Hisui, of course, as you know, this season we have got Hisuian mons in our tier list, so you're going to see a few of these different, unusual Pokemon, you might say. Of course, Lilligant Hisui is grass fighting type, so it does have that 4 times flying weakness, but still gets that Chlorophyll ability, so still makes it quite a bit of a menace. And has got the Latvian 71 Miami Heat special in Lipad as well. We know how much of a menace that can be with its Prankster ability. Get Prankster on course can really put your opponent in one hell of a position. And another spicy duo on there is Alakazam, and Tapu Lele. Alakazam, of course, has access to its Mega, and you could see some very, very strong Expanding Force spam. Of course, Lele doesn't get access to Expanding Force, which I think is a crime against humanity. I'm not offended or upset by it from last season at all. but Game Freak, you will be getting my letter in the post next week. But yeah, that's going to activate Alakazam really, really well. And of course, Lele is going to get buffed to its psychic moves all the same. And, you know, that with a Life Orb can be a really tough customer. Also has access to Fake Out in Morgrem, and has access to Tailwind with the Luminion as well. So a bit of speed control there, a bit of Fake Out pressure as well. Lipad also with the Fake Out. But I wouldn't expect to see Lipad be pairing with the Lele anytime soon if it's going to go down that route. On the Deimos Deoxys side though, this is, you know, pretty much starter Pokemon FC. We've got the Greninja, Blaziken and the Sceptile all in there. Of course, Blaziken and Sceptile can go for that Mega Mew, while Greninja can also go for the Ash Greninja form with that Battle Bond ability. Jirachi as well in that lineup. Probably one of the strongest Follow Me Mons in our tier list in the game. You know, obviously one of the mythicals with 100 base stats across the board. With that Psychic Steel typing as well, can make it a bit of a menace. And has Aromatisse in his lineup as well. Aromatisse, of course, with its ability, can stop those cheeky taunts coming out to stop its trick rooms and things going off. So very good set of mons in there, as well as Meowstic with that prankster ability. Prankster on Meowstic is broken. You've got Fake Out on there, you've got Quick Guard, you've got stat drops on there as well. Just a whole host of moves. You can really bring the best out of Meowstic and paired next to, you know, big heavy hitters like your Landorus, your Greninja, your Mega Blaziken, things like that. Really going to put in the damage. And of course, at the bottom there is the silly Long Island Gumi special in Minior as well. So it'll be very intriguing to see if Lumaris brings that out to play. But yeah, very excited to see both these teams go out. As I said, it's very much not a typical Aaron team, so excited to see what he can do in this one. So before we get in this one, I will prefix that Aaron does start this game with a 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, Lumaris did start with both the Greninja with the Battle Bond ability, which would of course given Ash Greninja and Mega Blaziken, so that was a forfeit for game 1. But we're going to start off in game number 2, and we will go from there and see if either Aaron can build upon that 1-0 lead, or whether Lumaris can reverse sweep Aaron T. Marshall and hand him his first defeat of the season. But let's have a look. Inglorious Surface versus Deimos Deoxys. Let's get right into it. Aaron with the Hisui, Vulpix, Lipad, Tapu Lele, Houndoom and Luminion then, so keeps Alakazam at home. Yep, you know, benches that, and Lumaris has got the Minion, Electrode, Meowstic, Jirachi, Blaziken and the Greninja. So kicking these off with the Greninja and the Jirachi. So as I said, Jirachi does have that follow me there. Vulpix going to set up that Sun, and that's going to activate Houndoom straight off the bat if and when Aaron goes for its Mega. Greninja there. Very fast, very strong physical special attacker as well. You know, we have seen that thing be run as a mixed attacker and special attacker, so be interested to see the set Lumaris has got on that Greninja. Jirachi as well in its own right doesn't have to just sort of be bulky support. You can run that thing as a physical attacker, special attacker, and with Serene Grace you can get those ancient powers going, and you know, a whole host of other moves that it has that are going to benefit from that Serene Grace. It's going to switch it out off the Meowstic, sees the fire type threat there, and that's probably the smart move. Out comes Greninja with that Protein Waterfall. That's going to do some good damage. That Houndoom is going to go for the substitute then, and Vulpix going for the Heat Waves onto Greninja and Meowstic. It does pretty decent damage, to be honest, despite it is the little baby Vulpix, but providing great support for that Mega Houndoom. It's going to lose a little bit of HP to that Solar Power ability. Solar Power though giving it that buff to its attacks as well, making things very scary for your opponent. But substitute being out is a smart move there from Aaron. Mega Houndoom, not exactly the most bulky Pokemon, is pretty frail. Protect coming the way from the Meowstic. There's the Waterfall. It's going to break the substitute on the Houndoom. It's not going to be able to go for another one, but the Heat Wave does some big damage to Greninja. And the Will-O-Wisp comes out from the Vulpix, and the Vulpix's Will-O-Wisp is going to get rid of Greninja. So Vulpix actually getting itself a kill, and the Solar Power just knocking Houndoom down slightly more in its HP. And now out comes the Blaziken then. So you'd expect to see Lumaris going for the Protect there, of course. Mega Blaziken, like its unmega typing, does of course get speed boost, so typically what you tend to see is Mega Blaziken or regular Blaziken just go for the Protect, get that speed boost buff to its speed, and start going for those attacks. You know, it's pretty high physical and special attack on Mega Blaziken. Meowstic yet to cause too many shenanigans as well. Of course, cannot use any prankster moves on Houndoom with it being dark typing, but always a threat there for the Vulpix. And in comes the Lil then, switches out, keeps the Vulpix for later, just in case there's a Rain Dance on that Meowstic. Blaziken does go for its Mega there to protect. Jirachi switching back in. Dark Pulse, though, is going to get blocked by that Protect. And, oh, Houndoom just about hanging on. After that Solar Power chip damage, oh, that is getting very, very close to going down. Has got to get something done this time. That Blaziken getting the speed boost is not what you want to see. Lele, though, now on the field, has got that Psychic Terrain up, so it's going to get that buff to its Psychic moves. Not really much point in a follow me here on Jirachi's end. You know, while Heat Wave's not going to do probably too much to Blaziken, Jirachi is going to get sent to the Shadow Realm. Does, though, go for the follow me just because Flare Blitz, though, under the sun is going to get rid of Lele. Blaziken's going to take a big amount of recoil damage there. There's a Heat Wave, does have the Ockerberry on Jirachi. Blaziken taking a bit of hit from that Heat Wave there as well, but Houndoom going to go down to the Solar Power. And Jirachi managing to tank that with that Ockerberry, so good item choice there for Lumaris. Now in comes the Vulpix and Lilligant, so Sun with only one turn to go. So if Aaron had just been able to hang on another turn, he could have reset that Sun, but fortunately going to go down at this next turn. And Blaziken now with that 2 times speed. I'm not too sure whether it's going to be faster than the Lilligant now, but Lilligant of course is going to have that Chlorophyll ability procced by the Sun being up, and then we go from there. If it survives, cool. If not, then it is all up to baby Vulpix versus the world. Protect coming out from the Mega Blaziken and the Lilligant as well. Protect all round. And there's a Heat Wave. Obviously not going to get hit by that Protect. Lum seeing that the Sun is going to go down. Down it goes, and now Lilligant is in a world of trouble. Doesn't have access to that Sun or Chlorophyll, and Blaziken is going to be much, much faster than it. We already seen it absolutely wipe Puel Tapu Lele off the face of the planet with that Flare Blitz. Protect had to go for the little Protect. Flare Blitz going to one-hit KO that Lilligant. Blaziken going to go down to the recoil damage. Heat Wave. Oh, Jirachi just about hangs on. There's the Iron Head onto the Vulpix. Oh, God. Jirachi just about hangs on. In switches in the Meowstic. The Meowstic, of course, is Psychic type, so if there's an attacking Psychic move, could get the job done here on Vulpix. But Vulpix, as Heat Waves have been causing a few issues for Lumaris, all of them managing to hit thus far. There is another Heat Waves. It's going to take out the Jirachi. The Vulpix just taking names. Gets a burn on Meowstic as well. There's a Side Shock, though. Going to take Vulpix down to 7% HP. I think this one is Lumaris. Is going to tie us up. Aaron trying to go for the Protect. Hoping to stall him out with that burn. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. Even with the Flamethrower. No, not quite enough. Side Shock gets a job done. And we tie up at 1 apiece. Lumaris winning that game 2. So on to game number 3 we go. Meowstic really putting in the work there, but a very, very close end to that game 2, and into game 3 we jump then, and Aaron leads out the same way. He's got the Vulpix and the Houndoom. Lumaris switching things up, goes off with the Blaziken and Jirachi this time. So Jirachi you would expect to maybe go for a switch out here, keep himself safe. Blaziken going to be looking to protect, get that speed boost off. Because Blaziken with that fighting type is going to be really good into this Houndoom with those fighting type. And Meowstic does switch in for Jirachi. There is the Mega on both ends. Protect comes out from that Blaziken. Substitute going straight up for the Houndoom. And Flamethrower comes out from Vulpix. It gets a burn again on Meowstic. So Meowstic then comes on the field. Could we see potentially a fake out here on that Vulpix? Or has the option potentially to switch up the weather if he's running Rain Dance on the Meowstic? Is of course going to put his Blaziken at a disadvantage to an extent, but doesn't only have fire moves, so not entirely snookered. Substitute on that Houndoom is a very, very smart move from Aaron. I really like that. As you said, the Houndoom pretty frail, so keeps him going. There's the Rain Dance from Meowstic. Poison Jab, though, is going to break that sub. Dark Pulse not quite doing enough to Blaziken, and of course the Heat Wave, just under the rain, just tickling the Blaziken and Meowstic, just getting under those arms and just giving a little tickle. Not quite enough there, so Aaron now going to potentially have to look at switching that Vulpix out. Try and reset the weather a different way. Of course, does have Lumineon in that team of 6, so Lumineon could really benefit from that rain being up. Very, very strong low tier pick. Lumineon, as I said, has access to to Storm Drain and can also get Tailwind as well, so it can make it a real spicy foe. What does Aaron do in this position? He does switch out and brings in the Tapu Lele, so he's going to get that Psychic Terrain. More importantly, he's going to block Meowstic's Prankster move. Protect comes out from the Houndoom. Greninja is switching in. Of course, Combat going to get blocked by that Protect, and Greninja, oh dear, Greninja really going to thrive under this rain. Blaziken, you know, while it's under threat, there's not really any water type coverage opposing him there, so Blaziken not really, you know, at risk of this rain being up. Lele, of course, with that high special attack, is going to be able to do some good damage to Blaziken. But other than that, Lumara's in a pretty strong position. He has got the 2.5 times speed now on the Blaziken, really making use of that speed boost. Already know Greninja has Waterfall, so it does appear to be a physical Greninja. Both players just taking their time deciding what they want to do. It's very important that they get this right on game 3. They're going to want to start off the season with a win. It is a long season. There is plenty of Pokemon left to play. As we always say, the Vulpix is going to switch back in now, reset that weather, knowing Greninja is going to get buffed to that. And in comes Lumineon. Protect comes out from that Blaziken. There's the Waterfall into what would have been, I would imagine, that Houndoom slot, but Lumineon switching in. Get the Storm Drain buff onto a special attack. Smart reads there from Mr. T Marshall, expecting the attack there onto the Houndoom, and goes for the double switch out, resetting the weather more importantly. And now Greninja's at a little bit of a disadvantage. That Lumineon's really putting a stop to its water type attack, so Aaron switching things up from bringing that Lilligant Hisui. As we said, Lumineon does have access to Tailwind, and you know, it's a pretty decent attacker. I'm not quite sure of base stats, but you know, obviously gets access to things like Scald and things, so he's in a pretty good spot here. Sun is up, so it does kind of put it in a bit of a spot dealing with that Blaziken, but still not a terrible position to be, all the same. Mind games really going at it now strongly on both players. As I said, trying to just be patient and take their time. Shout out to Vulpix, by the way. I think when people saw Aaron pick that, they weren't really expecting much. Close combat comes out for the Blaziken, and it's some big damage in a minute. He's going to proc that Citrus Berry. Night Slash as well. Ooh, gets the protein. It's not going to be quite enough to take out Lumineon. And Heat Wave. He's going to get some great damage to Blaziken and Greninja. Out comes the Tailwind from Lumineon. That's a really good move there from Aaron. Lumineon just about hanging on. And Blaziken, of course, getting another speed buff. So that Blaziken's only getting faster. Blaziken is on that ride at on Willy Wonka, where they're riding down the river. Everyone else is still sat there. But yeah, Vulpix really putting in the work here. I really thought that it might have been choice specs at first when Aaron first brought it onto the field, but of course has revealed different moves there. So obviously not spexed. But yeah, it really speaks volumes about how strong this thing is under the sun, despite it being a wee little baby. But both players with 4 mons still on the field. I would expect that all to change very quickly in the next few turns. A few mons on pretty low HP, and as we found in the last game, everything went downhill very quickly. Minion's going to go down to that poison jab, not quite fast enough. The Tailwind of the Heat Wave, almost taking out the Blaziken and Greninja. Greninja goes to that Night Slash. Not quite enough on the Vulpix, but it is now 4v3. Blaziken and Greninja on very, very low HP. As now in switches in that Houndoom Mega. So you'd expect Blaziken to be faster here, but who knows? He's got to try and read whether that Houndoom's going to go for a Protect here and stop a close combat coming out, because Heat Wave after that Spadef drop from the close combat is going to do so much. I mean, either way, even without the defense drop, Blaziken and Greninja not living the Heat Wave there, but all the same, it's still going to do a lot. Would have done a lot more damage, of course, if there was a lot more HP there. yeah, very, very close that last turn to just taking them both out. Tailwind still got 2 more turns to go, as does the Sun. Psychic Terrain with 1 more turn to go. Protect's going to come out in that Blaziken. Probably the right thing to do is there's a Heat Wave from the Houndoom. Houndoom is faster than the Greninja, then Greninja going down. And the Heat Wave blocked by that Protect, so Houndoom going to take a bit of chip damage away for that Solar Power. It is now 3v3. Meowstic switching in with half HP. Tailwind still up 1 more turn for R&T Marshall. Meowstic with that burn, going to be chipping away at its HP each turn. Lumaris obviously just burned through that Protect with the Blaziken, so got to go on the offensive here. But similarly, Aaron needs to do something because that Sun has only got 1 more turn to go, so it even needs to be trying to switch now. There's the fake out from Meowstic, so the Psychic Terrain ending ends really good time. Close Combat's going to get rid of the Houndoom, so now with 3v2. Vulpix going to flinch from that fake out. Tailwind also ending, everything ending all in 1 turn. And now it's Tapu Lele to come back in with that Psychic Terrain. So Lele and Vulpix versus the world. So we know that Blaziken has the Poison Jab on there, which is not good news for Tapu Lele. Vulpix though, still in it to win it. Could still get some good damage off the Heat Wave. Could at least take out the Blaziken. But I would think that Psy Shock from Meowstic is probably going to just do enough to that Vulpix with that Tornado. There's the Poison Jab. Lele lives on 12% HP. Gets poisoned by the Poison Jab. There's the Heat Wave from Vulpix. Is going to get rid of Blaziken. Meowstic just about hanging on. The Psy Shock gets rid of the Vulpix. Dazzling Gleam going to get rid of the Meowstic. But is Lele going to survive with the poison? It's not. And down he goes. And R&T Marshall going to lose the opening game of the season to the Deimos Deoxys and Lumaris in a 2-1 fashion. What an insane end to that game. The poison really, really screwing Aaron up there a bit at the end there, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. If all your Heat Waves are going to miss, unfortunately something's got to give. But yeah, both players giving it their absolute best there. It was a really, really close battle. You know, a lot of really good reads on show, and it was just fine margins in the end there. But yeah, GG's to both guys. Really, really good match. And Lumaris taking that first win in his debut season, not only in the British Pokemon League, but in the Premier Division in the British Pokemon League as well. On to our next game, though. And it is, of course, the Bulu Boys versus the California Bastiodons. Before we get into this, I'm going to just grab a quick drink of water. I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, we're back. So, Bully Boys, California Bastions, these two, myself and Oma, have come together quite a number of times over the last few seasons. Oma not able to take a win off of myself just yet, but this could be the one. Two very, very interesting teams. Although on Oma's side, you would say it is definitely an Oma team. You've got some of the usual suspects kicking around there. The Hitmontop, Ludicolo, Chandelure, Riolu in there as well. He's got two of his favourites in Stantler and Basculin as well. But, you know, because of the way the ban system has worked this season we went with a top 20 most used. Unfortunately, Aerodactyl and Metagross bit the dust of the season, so has had to switch up tact. Has still went with Steel typing for his main Sweetmon in that Mega Mawile, but has the access to that Mega as well. And Medicham as well, which also has access to its Mega. You know, we've not seen anyone pick up that Medicham as of just yet. And has gone for the Noivern as well, since his Aerodactyl has bit the dust. So Noivern with that Dragon Flying type, going to be 4 times weak to Ice, but obviously has access to Tailwind, and is a pretty strong special attacker as well. But, you know, has had to switch up tack, probably not where Oma wanted to go. But the ban list just not working out in his favour. But yeah, Noivern, a very, very good pick on that California Bastions team. You multiple ways to set up the rain as well. It's got Klefki, which has Rain Dance and Sunny Day, as well as Riolu as well. Could set up weathers with this. Both have prankster ability, and Klefki, of course, having access to screens as well, going to be really, really handy to have to keep the likes of that Mawile, Medicham, Ludicolo kicking around for a couple more times. On the Voodoo Boys side, then, few familiar picks for myself and the Voodoo Boys. We've got Mew back after it failed me miserably in Season 3 playoffs, and had to pick up Banette as well. Banette served me so well last season. Really love that Pokemon. Got the starters in Primarina and Infernape as well. Primarina really putting in the work with Miami Heat. Latvian is Miami Heat last season, and Infernape there as well. With that Iron Fist ability, physical Infernape can be a real menace with that 108 speed as well. Not a slow Pokemon. Compared to the rest of the team, though, is very, very fast. Aselgar, obviously, with just stupid amounts of base speed. But apart from that, very, very slow Trick Room-centric team on the Voodoo Boys side. We've got Chansey, Runerigus, Tangela, Turtonator, Azurill there as well, down the bottom of the D tier pick. So definitely some room for some gimmicks in there, with the likes of the Chansey, the Azurill. But Tangela there as well, got access to Rage Powder, Sleep Powder as well, can be a real, real menace paired next to something. And Fake Out also on that Mew and on Infernape as well. So some good Fake Out options there to get either Trick Room set up or, potentially, a setup move on something else. So a few months we've seen a few times over the course of the last few seasons on that Voodoo Boys side, and then a few that we've not seen as of yet. So I think the ban list has really worked out well, and it has made players have to sort of change tact and pick something they're not familiar with. So very interesting to see how both these sides line up against each other and see if Oma can get that elusive first win over the Voodoo Boys. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to start my rambling. Let's get into this one. Voodoo Boys taking on the California Bastiodons. So Voodoo Boys with the Primarina, Aselgar, Infernape, Mew, Banette and Chansey in the lineup. Oma with the Klefki, Noivern, Chandelure, Hitmontop, Ludicolo and the Mawile then. So Ludicolo paired next to that Klefki to lead, and the Voodoo Boys have went with Primarina and the Aselgar lead. So no Fake Out on that Voodoo Boys side, but Fake Out definitely on the side of Oma with that Ludicolo. Could see him go for the Rain Dance straight off the bat here, get Ludicolo to get its speed up, and we knows he's going to know how fast that Aselgar is and how much of a menace it can be. Ludicolo going to be a very big threat to Primarina here, so going to see Primarina maybe trying to protect, try and just sort of, may even see a double protect here, just try and scat out that Fake Out, scat out what Ludicolo, what Klefki is going to do here, what Oma's trying to do. Protect coming out from that Primarina, but there's a Fake Out into the Aselgar then, so it doesn't read the room, but the Thunder Wave's going to miss on the Klefki, that's a huge miss, and the Aselgar of course going to flinch thanks to that Fake Out, so Oma making the perfect read there with the protect on the Primarina, and Aselgar not going for its protect, but not mattering anyway. Klefki's Thunder Wave missing, which is really huge. Having that speed, I think, and potential Paralysis chance would have been very good on Oma's side. So not really the best of starts for the Bastiodons, but that is where the cookie crumbles. Obviously, Thunder Wave not 100% accurate move. There is a Rain Dance going to allow Ludicolo to go first. The Energy Ball not quite enough to Primarina. Ludicolo can take a bit of damage from the Acid Spray, but it's going to drop its special defense by half. And the Moonblast going to get rid of that Ludicolo, and the Voodoo Boys going to take an early lead in this one. Klefki there, as we said, going to be setting up that weather. Always knew that was coming, but the Voodoo Boys really need to try and put a stop to that. Primarina is in a good position now that Ludicolo is gone. And what does Oma bring in? He brings in the Mawile then, so it's got that intimidate ability, so good information for the Voodoo Boys. Of course, neither of these two physical attackers, so not really gonna make too much odds. But the speed now gone on Oma's side, nothing to really benefit from that rain being up. Mawile though, going to benefit from the rain being up if that Infernape is in the back, because Mawile not going to really like those fire types too much. Primarina taking a big hit from that energy ball, so Mawile comes out with a protect then. So again, just trying to read what's coming. Out comes the round from Iselgo, and Primarina is paralyzed after that Thunderwave hit, so not able to get the round off. And Morwell's protect ended up being in vain. Could have well got an attack off there, so Primarina's speed cut in half, and of course does take that paralysis as well. So got to be careful now. He's missed one Thunderwave. I don't think he's going to miss another one. And Morwell being fast in that Primarina is very, very good news for Orma. Huge power on that Mega Morwell is going to put in a great spot to start taking things out. You know, neither of these Pokemon with very high defenses, so Morwell in a great position to start sweeping up. Protect coming out from the Primarina. There's the Water Shuriken. It's going to do some good damage to Morwell under the rain. Is it going to hit all the amount of times? It hits 4 times. Out comes the T-Wave though into the Iselgo. Iselgo going to get its speed halved then as well. It does hit the Thunderwave this time. Klefki still sat there menacingly jingling away on full HP. Morwell taking a big amount of damage from that Water Shuriken. So out comes the Reflect. There's the round onto Morwell, and round on the Primarina with the Liquid Voice. It's going to take out the Morwell, and it's now a 2v4. In comes the Chandelure then, so Chandelure, a big threat for the Primarina. Obviously, we know it likes to run Energy Ball. And Shadow Ball being on there as well is a problem if Mew and Banette are in the back. You know, you don't want to potentially try and switch out into one of those and take a hit. Water Shuriken is there on the Iselgo. You see me just hovering under the Primarina. Going to take the paralysis though. How much is the Water Shuriken going to do? Is it going to hit all the times? No, it only hits the 2. Chandelure going to get rid of that Primarina with the Shadow Ball. Out comes the foul play from Klefki. Not going to do too much with Iselgo not having any physical attack investment here. And now it is up to Mew, who's going to switch in and makes it a 2. It's a 3v2 now, so Primarina does go down. Fake out coming out there from the Muse to stop the Klefki from getting any work. There's the critical hit on the first Water Shuriken. Is it going to hit all times? So Chandelure only the 3. So now comes the Shadow Ball. So it's going to activate the Cassie Berry on the Mew. So Mew managing to hang on there, and that's good information for Orma for the next game as well, knowing what item the Mew's got on its hands. Reflect still up for Orma as well, but neither of these two physical attackers here. So well, Mew potentially could be, I suppose. You know, obviously, as many mythicals, 100 base stats across the board. There is the Water Shuriken into Klefki then, so keeping Chandelure alive. Not enough damage to Klefki. There's a flip turn from Mew, so it's going to get rid of Chandelure, and it's going to allow Mew to switch out. In comes the Banette then, but Banette switches into the foul play, and oh, that could have been a very, very unfortunate switching. Foul play doing a huge amount of damage to Banette there. Banette just about hanging on with 9% HP. Oh, Klefki. Out comes the Mega from the Banette then, so the Reflect still up for Klefki, so that's good news for Orma as he's going to tank that Shadow Claw. No critical hits, and the foul play is going to get rid of the Banette. So Klefki trying to turn things around here. In comes the Mew then after flip turned out. Mew and Iselgo versus Klefki. Fake out going to come out in that Klefki as expected, and out comes the Water Shuriken again. Is it going to get the job done? No, it only hits the 2 times. And but this one is going to be done. Game 1 going to be going to the Voodoo Boys. Water Shuriken on Iselgo, gonna make sure of it, and there we are then, 1-0 lead. So Orma with it all to do in game 2, but got some good information all the same. And the Builder Wise this time leading with Mew and Primarina, and it's this time it's Chandelure and Morwell then, so no fake out on that California Bastiodon's side, but fake out indeed on the side of the Builder Boys with that Mew. Protect coming out from the Morwell, so Smash up there is seeing a fake out potential. Goes to the Eerie Impulse on Chandelure, but there's the Water Pledge. Water Pledge getting the critical hit on the Chandelure. Then I'm not too sure it would have mattered, but you know, the critical hit made very much made sure of the KO. And now in switches in the Noivern with that Frisk, so finds out what items are on which. Obviously, Orma would have already found that out anyway with the Life Orb and Cassie Berry in that previous game, but Mew revealing the Eerie Impulse on there, which is not good news for Noivern. Crits do always matter. They always matter in my heart, Dogsy. Morwell then does go for the Mega Outcomes to protect onto the Primarina. Tailwind coming out from the Noivern, so player can get blocked by that protect. And there's the Eerie Impulse onto Noivern, so Noivern going to get a special attack cut in half. And Tailwind though being up is very, very much important. Morwild gonna move before that Primarina now, and Primarina not the bulkiest in defense, so in a little bit of a spot. I don't know that there's really anything to switch. Now comes the taunt then from the Noiven, so it's a good move choice there from Orma as the player gets rid of the Primarina. There's the flip 10 into Morwild, also going to allow Mew to switch out. Could potentially switch back in again though with the Primarina going down, as in comes the Infernip. And what is going to pair next to it? Is it going to be the Mew? Is it going to be Bennett then? So no chancey this game, it would appear. Out comes the Mew then, so gives him that fake out pressure again. And we are at 3v3. Whilst fake out is on that Infernip as potentially as well. Oh, and there's a switch out Klefki and the switch back in, protect there on the Mega Morwilds, or fake out into the Klef, so makes the right read there, and out comes the Fire Pledge. Oh, Morwild, good job he protected there. That potentially would have done some big damage to Morwild. One more turn of Tailwind for Orma and his Bastiodons. There is the Thunder Wave, so it's going to get the paralysis on the Infernip. Play rough though, it's going to miss on the Infernip, that's huge. Out comes a String Shot from Muse, that's going to half speeds. Going at the last turn, Tailwind is super effective. Is Fire Pledge going to take out the Mega Maul. Now it's 2v3. It is all up to Noiven and Klefki, so going to see that pass Horberry on the Infernip as well. So good, would have been good to know the previous game when Ludicolo was kicking around, but no god now. So it is all up to Noiven and a Klefki with a dream. If Orma is to get back in this one, 1-1 down, but the paralysis on that Infernip is really huge. Your game is next Latvian, by the way. So, does Orma really gain anything from going for Tailwind here? Was that the Infernip is paralysed, does manage to live the Draco meter as well, so that's going to have Noiven special attack. There's a String Shot from Mew, so it's going to have speed. Foul Play getting some decent amount of damage there to Mew as well, but paralysis proccing on the Infernip could have been really, really huge that time. But now Noiven, with no switch-ins, got half special attack, half speed. In a bit of a pickle. Protect's going to come out from that Infernip this time around. There's the Eerie Impulse, going to drop the special attack even further. Taunt this time now from Orma, so it's going to force Mew into going for an attack. And, well, this is not a good position for Orma to be in. All those stat drops. Infernip is just about hanging on, so that, you know, could see a 2v2 here. Might be a way back into it, but those... Depends if there's any other damaging moves on that Noiven other than Draco Meteor. We've seen Tailwind and Taunt. There is the flip 10 from Muse. A flip 10 going to allow the Bennett to switch in. In comes the Bennett. Is there a foul play coming? Out comes the Fire Punch, but gets the critical hit on Klefki. Did the crit matter? Out comes the Tailwind from Noiven. And oh, it is all up to Noiven now. The RNG just not going Orma's way in this game. 2 critical hits, a T-Wave miss. Bennett going to go for that Mega. Draco Meteor is going to indeed get rid of the Infernip at least. Now comes the Shadow Claw to get some good damage with, and Noiven is now a 1v2, but Noiven in a right pickle after that one. And this looks to be a 2-0 in the Buddha Boys fashion. There's the fake out from Mew. Shadow Claw is going to get the job done with Bennett, and the Buddha Boys take that one 2-0. The Buddha Boys starting things off with a win, and Orma obviously just promoted back to the Premier Division, unable to kick things off with a victory, but I'm sure he will be back next week. GG's to Orma. Very, very fun set. Feel very, very sad for Orma and his luck in that one. I'm not going to lie, it felt very undeserved. Very sorry. Very, very sorry. But, you know, that is the way the cookie crumbles. I just had to, you know, rely on a bit of RNG's luck for that one. But on to our next game then. Our 4th game of the evening out of 6. It is the South Croydon Saws taking on the Miami Heat. So Miami Heat, of course, our Season 1 champion. Crizzle, for the first time in 2 seasons, not making a Grand Finals last season. Going out to Matrix and his Welsh Warriors at the second round of losers bracket. So Chris will be definitely on the charge to try and rectify that. He still owes Aaron for those Season 2 and Season 3 losses. So You know, sorry, Krizzle not going to take this one lightly. I said last time round, Krizzle did get the win over Latvian, so Latvian with a fire lit under him as well. And two very, very exciting teams here. We've got one of the more well-known and best Hisui and Mons on that South Croydon Saws side, the Ursaluna. Bulky Pokemon, 140 base attack. Not only that, but gets Guts, which of course is going to give it that attack buff if it takes a burn, so it can give this thing a Flame Orb. It's going to burn it, it's going to get the attack buff, and you could potentially have stab, Guts boosted facades from that thing, if you're able to proc the Trick Room up before you get going with that. So very, very scary prospect. But one thing Krizzle's going to have to watch out for is that Zeraora, of course, with that Plasma Fist move, going to turn all normal type moves to electric type, and Zeraora with that Volt Absorb is going to gladly take a double edge or a facade from that Ursaluna and get some of its HP back up. Not really a Latvian team, it must be said. As I said, there's a lot of different things going on here, a lot of different moving parts. You've got two elements of speed controls where you've got Tailwind on that Crobat and, of course, on the Togekiss as well, and Zeraora with its stupid base speed. And, of course, you've got the Typhlosion making its return after it was in that team last season. You know, that thing with Choice Scarf Eruptions under the right setting can be an absolute menace. But you've also got a Trick Room mode going on there as well. You know, you've got Camrupt, which can Mega, and you've got Kecleon, Trevenant, all slow Pokemon, and Trevenant with that Trick Room up, as well as Sork there as well, can really, really work well under that Trick Room. Togekiss as well, technically, I suppose you could see work under Trick Room too. So a few different options on that Miami Heat team. Kriz, though, on the other hand, I think is very much outside of the Ursaluna Dusknoir sort of thing going on, to get Trick Room going. And as well as our Beetle. It's very much a Krizzle team. We've got Hawlucha there, which of course with unburden ability works really well. Tapu Koko going to synergize really well. Going to get not only in a defense boost from Electric Seed, but it's going to proc unburden and allow that to Hawlucha to be the fastest thing known to man. You've also got the Ninetales there as well. I think Victreebel, I want to say Victreebel gets Chlorophyll. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to confirm it and get it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does. So if so, them two synergizing really well as well there. And the Sun also being up going to benefit the likes of Ursaluna. Just half one of those weaknesses it has. Obviously, normal water type is weak to water typing, as well as Lunaton. But yeah, very much a Krizzle team, but a very, very strong and very bulky team as always. We saw him with the Cresselia last season. Does love his bulk, and that Dusknoir is very much the Cresselia of this season, I would say. But guys, I'm going to stop my rambling. Let's get into this one. It is the Miami Heat taking on the South Croydon Saws. Let's kick things off. So Latvian with the Trevenant, the Zeraora, the Kecleon, Togekiss, Sork, and Camrupt in the back. Krizzle leading things off the Hawlucha and Tapu Koko. Straight away going to get that on bed and going off. It's got the Geraldodon, the Ursaluna, Weavile, and the Slowbro in the back. So Slowbro, of course, does have access to Mega as well. So I said a few different moving parts on both teams here. So I'll be very interested to see this one go off. And I said Latvian owes Krizzle for last season, and Krizzle just wanting revenge on the league in general at this point. Wants to build upon the previous few seasons and try and get the win. Ursaluna's going to switch in, maybe expecting that electric type goes to the fake out, and Koko going to go for that U-turn, going to switch out. And what is it going to bring in? Maybe thought the Plasma Fist was coming out there in Hawlucha, but out in comes the Slowbro now instead, and Tailwind goes up for Togekiss. So, if Zeraora wasn't fast enough already, it's going to be fast enough now. That thing is going to be moving at the speed of light. But so Kriz needs to be very careful here. It said with Plasma Fist, Ursaluna does go for a normal type attack here. Well, you are going to be buffing that Zeraora back up. Slowbro going to switch right out. In comes the Koko. Goes to Plasma Fist. A good read there from Kriz. Koko's still going to take a huge hit on that Plasma Fist. Doesn't Gleam going to get the critical hit on the Koko, which is going to take it out. And thanks to the Plasma Fist, Ursaluna's double edge is going to hit into Zeraora. It's going to proc that Volt Absorb. Zeraora going to get some of the HP back. And in comes the Hawlucha now. So Hawlucha already burned through its seed, so it's not going to get that unburden again. And Tailwind is up for Latvian anyway, so not that it would matter. Togekiss already putting in work. That Super Luck ability, just getting crits already. It's an insane Pokemon. What a great Pokemon that thing is. Zeraora also already putting in the work, so Hawlucha not in a great spot here, and I don't see living a Plasma Fist or a Dazzling Gleam here So Crys maybe try and go for those protects, try and stall out that tailwind. He's got to do something here, but the Air Saloon is not in a very good spot at all. Slowest thing on the field, no real way of getting Trick Room up as of present. Latvian really has Crys up against the ropes already here. There is the close combat. That's going to get rid of Air Saloon. This goes down to 4v2. Dazzling Gleam's going to get rid of Holucha being a single target. And now is a 1v4. This is quickly went very, very wrong for Crizzle in this game one. I think Latvian's going to take the slow bro, the only thing in the back, and it's not going to enjoy Zero Aura. Even without Tailwind, Zero Aura is faster here. I think Plasma Fist is going to be able to get the job done, and Latvian going to take the 1-0 lead in this one. Enacting a revenge, going sweetly thus far. Down goes slow bro. Latvian with the 4-0 in game one, so Crys really got to turn things around and change tact in this one to try and bring this back. We know Latvian, though, he likes to switch things up with the second game, and he does indeed. Goes along the Trick Room route, out comes Trevenant and Kickdown. Crizzle sticking with that Coco Holucha duo. Coco allowing that Holucha to get its unbed and procced. And the Frisk going to reveal the items on Holucha and Coco as well. I mean, if it wasn't already obvious on the Holucha. There's the fake out from Kickdown, stops the Holucha from getting anything going. Out comes the Electro Web from Coco. So, maybe the only real damaging move, you had to sort of hit them both, but I was going to say Trick Room's about to come out, so really you're just making them slower. I mean, maybe Crizzle's just sort of weighed up his options there. If Electro Web's really the only thing to do damage, then, you know, he knows they're going to be slower either way and are going to benefit from Trick Room. He's maybe just sort of accepted his fate, going for damage, as we said. Holucha really not had its chance to shine as it did last season with Crizzle. Protect coming out from the Coco now. There is the Ice Punch from Kekla, which of course has the protein ability, so it's going to change to his Ice typing. There's the Phantom Force. Acrobatics then going to miss on that Trevenant, so really smart stuff there from Latvian. Great read. Expecting the attack coming from Holucha. And now Trevenant going to be able to get an attack in, Protect or not. Phantom Force, a really good move choice there on the Trevenant. And there's a switch out in because the Weave also sees the item going. So again, great read there from Crizzle. Out comes the Phantom Force. Does a big amount of damage to Coco. Going for the Electro Web against Trevenant. Really just not going to take too much hits from that. Neither is Kekleon. And Coco losing a bit more HP to that Life Orb damage. So Crizzle in a little bit of a spot. Again, is just, he's got 3 incredibly fast mons on the field against, you know, 2 very Trick Room centric Pokemon. Which he's, you know, have the speeds of as well, just to make that bit slow. Coco going for the Protect. There's the fake out on the Keklin's weapon. We've also good stuff there from Crizzle, and Hornleech going to get blocked by that Protect. So good stuff all around. Coco and Weavile live to fight another day, and Crizzle sticks in it right now. Just gotta try and stall out that Trick Room if he can. And Coco going to switch out. In comes the Duraludon there. There's the Fire Punch though on the Weavile with its very frailness is going to go down. Out comes the Hornleech into Duraludon. So Trevenant's going to get a tiny little bit of HP back. So good switch out there from Crizzle. Keeps the Coco kicking around, and Trick Room does indeed end. In comes the Holucha then. Can it get something going now? Now that the speed's back in Crizzle's favour. Duraludon does obviously get access to Dark Pulse, so does Latvian run that risk? Does he go for either a Protect or a switch out? You know, expecting the Dark Pulse there. Oh, a little bit of a screen freeze. Sorry guys, we're back to normal. Oh, and another one just for good measure. In comes the Togekiss then. So it's a double switch out for Latvian because the Camera's going to take a big hit from that close combat. Holucha's defense is going to get dropped. There is the Dark Pulse. That's a great read from Latvian, seeing the Dark Pulse coming. Togekiss going to tank that Dark Pulse hit like it was nothing at all. And Big Flying Chicken switching in now in a great position, but Flash Cannon on that Duraludon could prove to be a very big problem. Of course, we do know it's Super Lick Togekiss getting those critical hits in game 1. Camera up, and a bit of a disadvantage here. It's going to be the slowest thing on the field. There is the Mega from the Camera. Goes for the Protect, expecting the move. There's out comes the Acrobatics from Holucha. Holucha's not going to work with the Togekiss. Manages to tank the Flash Cannon hit. Dazzling Gleam is going to get the double critical hit. Down goes Hawlucha. Duraludon just about hanging on for dear life on 2% HP, but that's a really, really terrible time there for Crizzle in terms of luck. In comes the Coco on very low HP. It's all of a sudden turned around for Crizzle. He seemed almost still in it, but Latvian's made more than sure that he's not. He's now a 2v4 with his Mons on very low HP. And has Duraludon a Coco really? Duraludon has the flash cannon, but you know, which do you go for? Because Camerupt here could go for an eruption or a heat wave here, and Duraludon and Coco are going down either way. Latvian coming out swinging, goes for this, the switching on Trevelyan, so gets the frisk again, finds the Chopper Berry on Duraludon. There's the Electro Web. Camerupt's going to be immune, so I think Crizzle with a bit of frustration coming out there. Dart pulls into the Camerupt, not going to quite do enough. There's the Eruption, gets rid of Coco and Duraludon, and Latvian going to take that one 2-0. So we've just got 2-0s across the board this week, boys and girls. But yeah, GG's to both players. Latvian, as I said, starting out strong. He's not taking any prisoners with this team. He is looking very, very strong there. And Crizzle, not with the start he would have wanted. Not with the start he would have wanted at all. So he's, you know, but it's early days. As we said earlier, plenty more Pokemon left to play, boys and girls. We've got 10 more weeks after this for Crizzle to redeem himself from that week 1. You know, you put week 1 to bed, you go next time. It's the way the cookie crumbles. On to our 5th game of the week then. It is our first and second place teams from the British Pokemon League Championships last season. Scuba Squirtles and Kyogre Canucks. Again, a lot of different things going on here. There's a lot of Hisui in that Squirtles team. You've got the Enamorous Incarnate, one of the new genies added to Pokemon Legends Arceus. And then you've got the Hisuian variants of Zoroark and Braviary, because Zoroark Hisui with that normal ghost typing, meaning its only weakness is ghost typing, dark type, sorry, and that is just nuts to me that they actually went and did that. But it's going to make it a very, very formidable Pokemon in this team for sure, and do not sleep on that Braviary either. Enamorous as well, with very, very big physical and special attacks, and is very ruthlessly fast, so gets contrary as an ability of all things, so definitely a few gimmicky and tricky things you could do with that Enamorous to enable it to just start sweeping ones. And Gudra as well, obviously quite a bulky Pokemon, and we've seen Crizzle use that weakness policy Gudra set last season, so definitely a route who could take that you know, as well. Got Melodic on there as well, another bulky Pokemon, so quite a lot of bulk going on there in terms of special defenses. Not too much in physical defense, I must say, across the team as a whole, but you know, the likes of the Grookey and Arikorio probably don't have buffed that up, but does have the Ditto, which I really love on this team. I think that really, really enables it well. You know, and Dogsy will be sat there in chat absolutely loving life, knowing that there's a Ditto in the Premier Division this season. So yeah, really well put together team for Niels. Very excited to see what we can do here. And over on Rylex's team, Kyogre Canucks, very much a weather-based team. You know, has got Excadrill and Gigalith, because Gigalith got that Sandstream, can allow Excadrill to either get that Sand Force or Sand Rush ability procced. And you've also got that Nidoqueen as well with that, you know, ground poison typing, which is gonna, with that sheer force, really, really strong physical attacker going there. Spiritomb as well. Very weird to see Spiritomb not on a Space City PC team. I must say that is one thing I will say straight off the bat. It looks weird. It looks morally wrong. Kangaskhan makes its return to the British Pokemon League as well. Great fake out option there with Kangaskhan, so great pick up there by Rylex. And of course has got the Latias as well. Latias, a good mega option there if the Kangaskhan isn't the way to go. Pretty bulky is Latias, so very exciting to see what this Canucks team can do. As you know, I said, Spiritomb with those stat drops in Snarl, and you know, it's got Will-O-Wisp as well. You just come in absolute menace. And good to see Maratus there as well. You know, having Storm Drain there and Grass typing, gonna really, really allow the likes of Excadrill, Gigalith to, you know, and Nidoqueen to stick around for that little bit longer. And really like that Delmize pick. Delmize making his debut in the British Pokemon League. Very interested to see if Rylek can make that thing work. So, you know, obviously there's an evident Trick Room mode going on there, but yeah, interested to see if that works out. We're gonna get right in this one. It is the Kyogre Canucks taking on the Scuba Squirtles. Let's get into this one, boys and girls. Big thanks and shout out to Ted from the Championship Division for recording this one. And Niels leading the lines with Braviary and Melodic, Rylect with the Nidoqueen and the Kangaskhan then. So going right on the offensive, potentially going for a fake out here on Kangaskhan. Melodic, do we see a coil come out from the Melodic? Because you're going to just go straight for damage with something like a Muddy Water or a Scald. Knowing Nidoqueen weak to that water typing. Do apologise, Hisui and Mons. They don't have animations in yet, so they do kind of just sit there as a Kangaskhan goes to Mega, goes to Fake Out, but it doesn't affect Braviary, which means the Braviary is going to be that Hisui and Zoroark, Grass Knot and Muddy Water are going to get the job done on Nidoqueen. Kangaskhan taking a bit of damage there from there, and that's great stuff there from Niels. Great Mon choice to lead the line, knowing there was potentially a Fake Out coming there to stop Tailwind going up, and yeah, Fake Out, not gonna be bothered by that, and in switches in the Dalmes then instead. Manectric gonna switch in now, so potentially that is where we see the Mega Seismic Toss on that Kangaskhan, just gonna get the double hit thanks to the Parental Bond. And Muddy Water again gets the accuracy drop on Dalmes, not gonna do too much, but there's the knockoff onto Manectric. So it looks to be the Mega Manectric then. Knockoff not really working out, but Manectric still taking a huge hit there. Rylak very lucky just to hit that with Muddy Water, really putting his wares. Extra going to switch in for that Kangaskhan, getting that into him off with Manectric. There's the Flamethrower. The Dalmes just about hang on. There's a Muddy Water, gets a critical hit on the Extra Drill. Dalmes still going to go down. Extra Drill lives with 1% HP. And now it's all up to Kangaskhan. Extra Drill. Neil's just coming out, absolutely swinging for the fences. That lead, I think, has just messed Rylak up so much there. Protect comes out from that Manectric now as it blocks that Fake Out. So smash up there from Niels. Muddy Water is going to miss that Kangaskhan, but gets rid of the Extra Drills now as Kanga versus the world in a 1v4. And what a start from Niels and Scuba Squirtles. The Flamethrower comes out from the Manectric. Seismic Toss, is it going to do enough to Melodic? It does, gets rid of one at least. And it is now a 1v3, so it's a great move choice there for Rylak. Now in comes the Braviary though. Make sure that the win is assured. And Neil's going to lead this one 1-0. So Rylak really going to just sort of rethink his options there, knowing that Braviary in game 2, is it going to be the actual Braviary? Is it going to be the Zoroark Hisui? It could be either, because Zoroark with that illusion ability, it will switch itself to the last mon in the team's party. So it does start with Braviary, Hisui and Melodic again, but what could it be? Who knows? Rylak with the Gigalith and Extra though, going to go for the Weather Duo. Gigalith costs very, very slow. Extra going to be able to go very, very fast. Goes to the Rock Slide on Extra. So it is the Zoroark. The illusion ends, of course. Illusion does end once it takes a hit. The Muddy Water is going to miss the Extra, but gets a big hit onto that Gigalith. Throat Chop is going to get rid of the Zoroark. So there's that got rid of this time. And a much better start on Rylak's end. And now in comes in the Manectric then, which we've already found is the Mega. Of course, this Mega does get Intimidate, which is really not good here for Rylak, and with a Gigalith and Extra switches out, brings in the Kangaskhan. There is the Mega from the Manectric, going to drop the attack on the Extra. Of course, Scrappy going to block the stat drop on Kangaskhan. Protect comes out from that Manectric. There is the Muddy Water again. Kangaskhan taking a big hit from that Muddy Water, but no accuracy drops at least. But that attack drop on Extra really, really going to hurt. There is the Mega from the Kangaskhan, gets the Fake Out off into the Mega Manectric to the double hit thanks to Parental Bond. There is the Rock Slide. Is we going to see the flinch on Melodic? No, it gets the Muddy Water off, and Extra going to go down to that Muddy Water. Kangaskhan taking a big hit there, but not quite enough. So Gigalith and Kangaskhan versus Melodic and Manectric down one apiece, so 3v3 now. Very, very exciting game number 2. Couple more tens of sand to go, so Gigalith at least can be getting that special defensive protect. Comes out from that Kangaskhan. There's a Thunderbolt from Manectric, so good read there from Rylak. Muddy Water comes out again, the Gigalith managing to tank that, gets a Stomping Tantrum off into Manectric. It's now a 3v2, so you're much better from Rylak, but Kangaskhan Melodic going to take damage from that Sandstorm. Now in comes the actual Braviary, the not imposter Braviary. We've already seen it does have that Grass Knot, so that's Braviary with a really good move pool there. Grass Knot really good on there, and there's the Ice Punch onto Braviary. Is it going to get the freeze? No freeze is coming out. There's the Scald onto Melodic, gets rid of the Gigaliths now with 2v2. Is the Heat Wave going to get rid of Kangaskhan? All of a sudden it's turned around, and Rylak now finds out the 1v2 is all up to Dalmes then. So Dalmes going to be a very slow Pokemon, really going to only work under Trick Room. There's the Ice Beam onto Dalmes. That's a big hit, and there's the Heat Wave, and Neil's going to take that one 2-0 and start things out with a 2-0 win, and consign Rylak to an opening week defeat. So GG's to both players. That Zoroark Hisui lead so strong, and we're going to see that a few times from Niels this season. You know, it's going to keep his opponent guessing, and you know, it's really going to put his opponent at a disadvantage for sure. But yeah, really great game from both sides there. You know, Rylect, I thought he was going to bring it back in that game too, but you know, that Melodic really put in the work in both games there, so strong stuff. But on to our final game of the week. It is the Newcastle Thunderers taking on the Scary Scrub, because Scary Scrub, 10 Melmetals from last season, and Kirky very much has his team that he wanted now. Didn't quite get his Melmetal last season, you know, was a bit late to draft, but has the Melmetal, has the Ordino, has Alchemy, has Berserker. That 4 just in general is so terrifying. Got the fake out, follow me pressure there on War Turtle as well, you know, allow the Ordino to go for that Trick Room. And then you've also got Sableye with fake out pressure, well, of course, has that Prankster ability. So you've got Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Taunt, Prankster Encore. And just to tie the team, you know, in a knot, has got the Lander Asterian as well, you know. With that Intim ability, that thing is going to be so strong for him. You know, we saw it really well in that Newcastle Thunderers team last season. Dave will be, you know, biting his lip through this one, knowing that Lando T was on that team last season. And around things off at the bottom there, we've also got Rapidash and, of course, Scrub, the namesake of the team. You know, we'll definitely see Kirky trying to get that thing a kill at some point this season, I would expect. Dave, on the other hand, it's a very Dave team, isn't it? You know, there's a few mons that Dave gets every season. You just expect it, and you expect it and you accept it. He's got the Incineroar, he's got the Wheezing Galar, he's got his Lantern, has got Octillery now, which seems to be quite a favoured pick of Dave in recent times. But has also went ahead and got Shedinja, you know, which we don't see very often. We haven't seen in the TBPL since Season 1, when the Toad Starbell grade Weo had that on his lineup. But has got Weather Option on there as well, got Ninetales Alola and Arctozoid, you know, Ninetales Alola. Pretty good Pokemon in its own right. We saw Oma making good use of that with Hypnosis and Moonblast and all that. Like, Arctozoid, of course, gets that Slush Rush ability with the Halo Up. It's going to get the speed doubled, and those Bolt Beaks going to do some big hits. And it's also got the Indeedee female, so you've got access to Follow Me there, and of course Expanding Forces on that Psychic Terrain. Going to hit hard. And even Hisuian Mon in that lineup for Dave has got the Gudra Hisui, which is Dragon Steel typing. So only the 2 weaknesses there, you know, ground and fighting, makes it a very, you know, capable threat. And that thing has got some bulky defenses. So could see it come to this game. Just try and deal with that, you know, threat of Melmetal. You know, I think you let Kirky get the Trick Room up, and you're really going to be in a bit of a pickle. But let's get into this one. In both games here, we do come into it a little bit late. Unfortunately, we only record from 10-2, but I will follow along the action all the same. Let's get into this one then. It is the Scary Scrub versus Newcastle Thunderers. You see on 10 number 2, Kirky has got the Trick Room up. He's got War Turtle and Ordino on the field, and Dave with Indeedee and Shedinja. So terrain obviously up, War Turtle and Ordino watching it. Switches into the Alchemy, switches into the Melmetal, so double switch out. Shedinja goes to the substitute. Expanding Force comes out. He's not going to quite do enough. Of course, Melmetal going to resist that one. And Shedinja with its 1 HP. It's a cool tech if it would work, but substitute not going to work with that 1 HP. And Decorate now coming out from that Alchemy. Going to buff the attack and special attack of Melmetal. The Rock Slide going to take the Shedinja down, and Sash gets the flinch as well. Mystify because that can drop the special attack of the Melmetal. You know, not that it really matters. Gets a decent amount of damage off there as well. The Alchemy. Melmetal are just going to be able to just keep going with the Decorate and the Rock Slides. Dave's really going to put stuff that thing fast, try and stall out that Trick Room. There is the Rock Slide again. It's going to get rid of both Indeedee and Shedinja. This one could be over very quickly. One more turn on Trick Room to go. So in comes the Incineroar and the Wheezing Galar. So it's Room Service Incineroar though. That's fast up there. Dave's going to drop the speed of the Incineroar, and with its Intim is of course going to drop the attack on that. But Psychic Terrain slip on the 10, so no fake out available. Oh, sorry, Kirky. It down. No fake out available to Incin to stop either Alchemy or Melmetal doing what it wants to. Wheezing Galar switching in as well, so it doesn't appear to be the neutralizing gas one. Alchemy switches out, in comes the War Turtle, then there's another Rock Slide. Is it going to get any flinches? Get some big damage off to Incineroar. Flare, but so going to get rid of that Melmetal. Trick Room now going, and there's the Flamethrower. War Turtle not going to, you know, be too bothered by that. And now in switches in the Ordino. That is the Mega Ordino there for Kirky. You know, we saw that on the Bully Boys side last season. We only really saw it used once, but there's that thing, you know, able to get Trick Room up. It just turns it into an absolute monster. It's so bulky. Out comes the protect from the Gala Weezing. And, oh, don't know exactly what just happened there. We had a bit of a skip ahead there. I think we've moved on to game number 2. Not too sure what's happened with the footage. Apologies there. There is the Sludge Wave is going to get rid of the Ordino. And the Muddy Water, though, going to take out the Gala Weezing. And Kirky going to take the 1-0 lead. Into game 2 we go then. We're on turn 2 again. Trick Room is looks very, very familiar to game 1 this. Trick Room is up. Ordino, Wartortle on the field. And Shedinja and Ndidi facing them down. Bit of damage away to Wartortle. Apologies about the footage skip there, boys and girls. Just missed a few Muddy Waters. Oh well, okay, I can live with that. Alchemy switching in, as does the Melmetal. There's the Mud Slap from the Shedinja, just going to drop the accuracy. But the White Herb is there on the Melmetal. Expanding Force not going to do too much there. And we've got another Trick Room turn to go down. Oh, a little bit of a screen freeze there. Apologies, guys. Decorate coming out, though, from the Alchemy. There's the double Iron Bash. It doesn't even need to hit twice. It just takes out Ndidi. Mudslap coming out again is now going to get the accuracy drop on the Melmetal, but it's already done its work, taking out Ndidi. And out in comes the Intin's going to drop the attack of that Melmetal and drop its own speed thanks to room service. Kirky in a very, very good position. With Trick Room still up, but 2 more turns to go. So Dave just needs to stall that thing out. Out comes a Mystical Fire from the Alchemy. It's going to take the Shedinja down to its sash. Drops a special attack more importantly. There's the Rock Slide. Down goes the Shedinja. It's so funny when that thing's HP flies out. Party Shot now going to come out from the Intin. So it's going to be able to switch itself back out and get another Intim off as out. In comes the Ninetales Alola. But knowing that there's a Rock Slide there, it's quite scary. It takes the Melmetal's attack down to the negative at least. 1 more turn of Trick Room to go. Needs to try and get rid of that Melmetal more importantly, but just hasn't been able to do it in this game. Gets the Decorate off, does Alchemy. There's the Rock Slide. That gets rid of both Insane and Ninetales Alola, and Melmetal just putting in an absolute clinic for Kirky and his Skrelt there. What an amazing game for Kirky. You know, bounces back from that playoffs, you know, round 1 drop and gets the week 1 win. Kirky's team looking very, very, very scary. We'll go over his team and all the other teams in the Premier Division preview coming later on this week. But yeah, really great start for Kirky. GG's to both lads. The Insane just not quite working out, but some cool tech there on Dave's side. The room service Insane almost working out. That would have been very, very nice to see. But we're going to take a look now at the league table after all their matches, what it means to the table. Of course, as we said, only early days right now in the British Pokemon League. So everyone more or less on the same win-loss, on the same game difference. You know, just the one exception, of course, Aaron and Deimos. You know, Lumaris and Aaron with the 2-1. So Deimos, Deoxys find themselves in 6th, but we've got Scuba Squirtle, Scary Scrub, Voodoo Boys, Miami Heat, Space City PC, all on the 1-0 plus 2 game difference. We now got Crymych Coalossals, Newcastle Thunderers, South Croydon Saws, California Bastiodons, and Coyote Canucks, all on the 0-1 minus 2. So definitely lots that can still happen here in the Premier Division. So, you know, I'm gonna say there's still plenty more Pokemon left to play, boys and girls. I'm sure it's gonna look very, very different come the end of the season, but that is week 1 out of the way with for now, and that is going to do it for me in this week's TBPL show. You can catch us on Wednesday. You'll see Aaron T. Marshall hosting the British Pokemon League Championship Show, the Season 5 Championship Show. Back with a bang. We've got a whole new lineup. There's so many new teams to take a look at. So take a look at our Championship team preview video on our YouTube page, British Pokemon League on YouTube. And you can meet all the teams and meet all the new players. And as I said, the Premier Division preview will be coming later on this week. You can catch the rerun of this show later on our YouTube as well, or you can watch it as a Twitch VOD later on. But for now, I will see you all next Monday at the same time, same place at twitch.tv/British Pokemon League. I've been your host, Matt Starr. Goodbye and good night. Mwah.